What's going on, superhero fans, and welcome back to Oneverse. Some really interesting details are emerging about Doctor Doom's followers in Avengers Doomsday, and these characters could be far more important to the movie's story than we initially expected. Marvel has already teased Doom's mysterious followers in the footage and promotional material, where we can see multiple female followers wearing different colored robes and masks, along with one mysterious male follower whose mask has an eye-like design in the center. And the most interesting part is that this male follower is widely believed to be Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch has already confirmed that he is returning for the movie, but Marvel has still kept his actual role under wraps. So the big question is, why would Doctor Strange follow Doctor Doom? And could Loki's Sylvie also be one of Doom's followers? To understand that, we need to connect several of the latest reports and rumors. Let's start with Steve Rogers, because one of the newest reports gives us a very interesting scene involving Doom's witches. According to the report, Steve will fight one of Doom's witches, and when the mask comes off, she will appear as Peggy Carter. Basically, the witch could use her powers to take Peggy's appearance before Steve removes the mask, meaning that when Steve finally sees the face underneath, he is suddenly looking at someone he deeply cares about. Obviously, that would completely throw Steve off and could give Doom an opportunity to manipulate him emotionally. If this scene is actually in the movie, it would also show that Doom isn't relying only on physical strength. He could be using the memories, emotions, and weaknesses of these heroes against them. And this is where Sylvie becomes extremely interesting. Loki fans already know that Sylvie has magical abilities and can manipulate appearances, so one of the latest rumors suggests that she could actually be one of Doom's followers. This possibility became even more interesting after Sofia DiMartino, who plays Sylvie, liked a fan comment suggesting that Sylvie could appear as one of the Latverian witches in Avengers Doomsday. Obviously, a social media like is not an official confirmation, but considering how important Sylvie and Loki have become to the multiverse saga, it is definitely a clue worth discussing. We already know that the TVA and Loki are connected to the events of Doomsday, so Sylvie being involved would make sense from a story perspective as well. But the bigger question is why Sylvie would ever work with Doctor Doom, and this is where another rumor comes into play. According to the reports, Doom could deceive Sylvie by promising that he can save Loki, so Sylvie wouldn't necessarily be joining Doom because she suddenly hates Loki, the TVA, or her friends. It could be the exact opposite. She could believe that working with Doom is the only way to save Loki. Doom could manipulate her emotions and give her a reason to trust him, while secretly using her abilities and knowledge for his own plan. And honestly, that feels very appropriate for Doctor Doom. He doesn't necessarily need to force everyone to obey him. If he can convince powerful people that his plan is actually the only way to save the multiverse, they might willingly stand beside him. And that brings us to the most important follower of all, Doctor Strange. Marvel has kept Benedict Cumberbatch's role surprisingly mysterious, even though his involvement has already been confirmed. We haven't seen him properly revealed alongside the main cast in the promotional material, and that secrecy has naturally led to theories that his role could be one of the movie's bigger surprises. We have also seen reports and leaked material suggesting that Doom has one male follower standing alongside his witches, and the eye-like design on the mask has led many people to believe that this character is Doctor Strange. If that is true, the interesting part isn't necessarily that Strange has become evil. His motivation could be much more complicated. Doctor Strange already understands how dangerous the multiverse can be. He has witnessed incursions, interacted with alternate realities, and seen what happens when characters interfere with universes that they don't belong to. So imagine Doctor Doom showing Strange the bigger picture and arguing that the Avengers and other heroes are actually responsible for making the multiverse unstable. Steve Rogers changed the timeline. Wanda caused massive multiversal consequences. Spider-Man's spell created a reality-breaking situation, and even Strange himself has interfered with multiple universes. Doom could take all of these examples and use them to convince Strange that the heroes have good intentions but are ultimately making everything worse. And this could be Doom's strongest weapon. He may not present himself as the villain at all. He could present himself as the person who finally understands what is happening to the multiverse and has the power to fix it. If Strange starts believing that Doom is right, then following him temporarily becomes completely logical. Strange could genuinely believe that the Avengers need to be stopped stopped before they cause another catastrophic incursion. This would also explain why some of Doom's followers might willingly stand beside him, instead of being controlled or forced into submission. Now, there is another rumor that makes this entire situation even more interesting, although this one should definitely be treated as a rumor for now. One report claims that the Ancient One could appear in Avengers Doomsday, but not necessarily as the version we remember from Doctor Strange. According to this rumor, she could be a darker and corrupted version of the character who has drained the magic of Dormammu's dark dimension and becomes one of the people who helps Victor Von Doom understand the multiverse and the dark dimension. If that turns out to be true, then Doom's magical following becomes much more powerful than we initially thought. Imagine Doctor Doom having Doctor Strange, Clea, Sylvie, and potentially the Ancient One or Scarlet Witch somewhere within his group. These wouldn't be ordinary followers or soldiers. These would be characters with enormous magical abilities and knowledge of the multiverse, and the Ancient One's involvement would be particularly interesting because Doctor Strange already trusted her. If Strange doesn't know that she has been corrupted, he could completely believe everything she tells him. She could help Doom convince Strange that the TVA and the forces connected to Kang manipulated the multiverse and created many of the problems that are now leading toward its destruction. And that's why the idea of Doom having a group of followers is so interesting. They may not see him as a villain at all. They could genuinely believe that Doom is the salvation of the multiverse. He has the knowledge. He has the power, and, most importantly, he has a plan. If these characters believe that the Avengers and other heroes are responsible for the multiverse falling apart, then joining Doom can actually make sense from their perspective. That makes the conflict much more complicated than simply heroes versus villain. Sylvie's role could fit perfectly into this. If Doom promises her that he can save Loki, she could temporarily work with him because she genuinely believes she is doing the right thing. And later, once she realizes what Doom's real plan is, that could create a major emotional conflict for her. She wouldn't have betrayed Loki because she stopped caring about him. She would have been manipulated because she cared too much and believed Doom was her best chance to save him. Of course, we still have to be careful with the identities of the witches, because all of these are still just theories based on the available clues. But Doctor Strange being connected to Doom's mysterious male follower and Sylvie potentially being one of the witches are definitely two of the more interesting possibilities right now. And if Doctor Doom really has powerful characters like Doctor Strange and others standing beside him, then his threat in Avengers Doomsday goes far beyond his armor, intelligence, and raw power. He could have an entire magical following that genuinely believes he is right. And honestly, that's what makes this version of Doctor Doom so dangerous. Defeating him won't simply mean overpowering him. The Avengers may also have to convince some of their own allies that Doom is not the savior he claims to be. So what do you think? Could Doctor Strange really become one of Doctor Doom's followers in Avengers Doomsday? And could Sylvie be working with Doom because he promises to save Loki? Or do you think these followers are part of a completely different plan? Let me know your theories in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like it and subscribe to Oneverse for daily Marvel leaks, theories, Avengers Doomsday updates, and breakdowns. So this is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.